What's going on, guys? Welcome to Killas Corner, and today we're going to be going over UFC 319. We got a stacked card ahead of us, so I'm going to be going over some guys to watch for, some bets that I'm liking for these fights, and just going over my predictions as well for each of these ones coming up. All right, so kicking off the card, we got Brian Battle versus, I'm not even going to try pronouncing that first name, Ruziboyev. I remember watching Ruziboyev fighting against Joaquin Buckley back in the UFC St. Louis card, and in that fight, Buckley just looked really good against him. I haven't watched much of him since, so I'm coming in here a little blind. And then you got Brian Battle on the other hand. He's been on a bit of a win streak lately. I didn't love his last fight. Who was that against? Randy Brown. I didn't think he looked that great. Honestly, I thought he lost the fight. But he always shows up, puts on a show, great on the mic. Love the guy. But I'm leaning. I don't know. It's tough for me to want to take Battle here just because of the way he looked in his last fight. And I know Ruziboyev has been winning since that Buckley fight. So I think for this first fight here, I'm going to go with Ruziboyev. I don't love either of these picks, though, if you're looking for bets. This one I'd probably stay away from. I mean, it's literally the first fight on the card. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at for this one. Yeah, not huge on either guy. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. All right, the next fight we got on the card is Edson Barboza and Draker Close. I hope that's how you say it. Honestly, don't know a thing about either of these two guys. I'm not even going to waste my time or yours talking about this fight. So now we will move on. All right, next up here, we got Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. I do not know much about Alexander Hernandez, but I do know Chase Hooper's a dog. He's just got to chill out with the gooning in training camp, and honestly, he should be able to get a submission here. He's on a great run right now. He's been winning a lot, getting finishes, something you'll have to see from a young prospect. I got really high hopes for Chase Hooper, and I think he probably takes this one, even though I know nothing about his opponent. Moving on. All right, the next fight we got on the card here that I'm actually going to talk about, we got King Green versus Diego Ferreira. I know King Green obviously hasn't had the greatest go in his last few fights. He lost to Mauricio Rufy, as you can see on the shirt I'm wearing here. I love Mauricio Rufy. Anyways, this video is not about him. It's about UFC 319. King Green, he's lost his last two fights, Rufy and then Paddy Pimblett. His win before that against Jim Miller, who's I don't even know, pushing 60 at this point. So yeah, can't say I have the best things to say about King Green at this point in his career. And then you look at Diego Ferreira on the other hand, coming off a loss in his last fight. He has, besides that loss, he had 2 wins before that and then 2 losses to, he got knocked out by Gamrot a couple years ago, who's a guy that's up there in the rankings. And King Green, he's not anywhere close to the rankings at this point in his career. I don't even know if I'd consider him a top 30 fighter in the division. Give me Diego Ferreira. All right, now moving on to the fights that most people would actually give a shit about, the main card. Starting it off here, we got Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Can't say I have much to say for this one besides Kai Asakura by knockout. Tim Elliott trains at Extreme Couture. We saw how that's been working for Roman Dolidze last weekend in a dominant performance by Fluffy Hernandez. So yeah, I can't say I have the highest hopes for Tim Elliott. I think Kai Asakura here coming off not the best performance against Pantoja. There's not really much good to say about that. But either way, I think he came over here for a reason. He got that title shot off rip for a reason. I don't know if he's necessarily in title contention talks if he gets a good win this fight, but I think he wins this fight and he starts to make his way up the rankings a bit. All right, the next fight we got here, Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. And this one right here is my Mega Max whale play of the day. Give me Michael Venom Page. I don't see a world where Jared Cannonier even looks decent in this fight. The way that Michael Venom Page strikes, he's so fast, jumping in, getting his shots off, and getting out of there. Nobody can hit him. We saw Shara Bullet try and fail. We saw Ian Gary resort to grappling as the only way to stop him. And I don't think Cannonier is going to be able to do that. I think Michael Venom Page has certainly learned a lot in that Ian Gary loss. He looked great against Shara Bullet, and I expect him to look great again against the damn near 40-year-old Jared Cannonier. That is my Mega Max whale play of the day. Give me Michael Venom Page moneyline. Next up, we got another fun fight on the card. We got Jeff Neal taking on Carlos Prates. They were supposed to fight a few pay-per-views back. Jeff Neal ended up pulling out of that fight with an injury, but he's back now looking to take on Prates and prove why he's still ranked in this welterweight division. I personally, I really like Carlos Pradas. I love all the fighting nerds, and I think it's going to be a tough one for Jeff Neal to win, especially with a little bit of ring rust. Hasn't fought in, it's been what, 2 years at least, probably at this point. Yeah, it's been a while for Jeff Neal. Carlos Pradas continues to look good every time. I might be slightly worried about how seriously he's taken fighting with all the ciggies and the drinking, but he's young. This Jeff Neal, I wouldn't consider the toughest matchup in the world for him. Obviously, got to watch his chin a little bit here, but I think Carlos Pradas should be able to take this one. All right, next up on the card, the co-main event. We got Lerone Murphy taking on Aaron Pico. Now, Aaron Pico was a champion over at PFL. Now making his debut UFC fight in a co-main event fight against the undefeated Lerone Murphy, currently ranked number 6 in the division. I really like Lerone Murphy, and at the same time, we keep seeing these guys come over from PFL Bellator, and they don't look the same over here as they do now. We saw, I know it's not PFL or Bellator, it was one with RDR. His first fight against GM3, he didn't look that good. Obviously, these past few fights, totally different story. He's looking great now. He looks like he's on his way to a title shot. But then you look at Patchy Mix, his debut fight, he had so much hype going into that. Everyone was ready for him to kill Mario Bautista for what he did to Jose Aldo. But no, it didn't happen. He came out flat-footed and did not look good. And at the same time, with this fight here, I'm going to have to take Lerone Murphy because he is a proven striker. I think he's well on his way to a title shot. Obviously, you got guys like Jean Silva in the mix that probably have a spot ahead of him. And Masvar. Yeah, however you say that. Yeah, so then Aaron Pico, I don't know why they're having him as a favorite going into this. I really don't. These guys don't normally do too hot in their first UFC fight. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see. But I really like Lerone Murphy as an underdog here. I'd definitely be willing to tail that. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for. The main event of the evening. We got DDP, Dricus du Plessis, taking on Khamzat Chimaev. Nobody in this division wanted to take on Khamzat. But you know what? DDP gave Dana a call and he said, hey, Dana, give me Khamzat. So we got that fight coming up this weekend. This is such a tough fight to pick because Dricus has been an underdog in every fight on his, at least since the Whitaker fight. I believe he's been an underdog in. He was an underdog the first time against Strickland, I know for sure. He was an underdog against Izzy, and he's an underdog going into this one. It's really tough to bet against Dricus because he's never expected to win, but he somehow keeps delivering. And if he can get a win in this fight, I could see him jumping in the pound for pound rankings. We got I'd consider him top 4, top 3, getting close to there. He's been beating the best guys in the division. If he's able to get through Khamzat, then he's got another real tough fight against the winner of the Imavov and Barrio fight. But you can't bet against Khamzat. Look at what the guy did to Whitaker. That's Robert Whitaker we're talking about. A first round submission where he tapped that fast without even getting under the neck. It was insane. That's one of the best grappling performances, most dominant grappling performances I've seen in an MMA fight. I mean, I'm still somewhat new to watching, don't get me wrong, but it was either way, still, it was a hell of a performance. And I don't know how you bet against him after that. So, you know what? I didn't even have my mind made up going into this. I'm taking Khamzat. I'm going to regret it, but we're taking Khamzat. I think that Khamzat gets it done in the second round submission. That's what I'll call. But even if he doesn't get that submission in the second round, which obviously that's quite the shot to call, his cardio is another thing we need to worry about. We've seen Dricus go 5 rounds with Sean Strickland twice. We saw him go get a 4th round submission against Izzy, still having the gas in the tank to pull off the sub that late into the fight. The cardio really is something tough to And we just haven't seen it from Khamzat yet. In that 3-round fight against Kamaru Usman, that third round, Khamzat slowed down quite a bit there. And we also saw it looked like Usman was almost coming back in that fight. If that fight's 5 rounds, I'm taking Usman. I think Usman would have won that fight. But it was a 3-round fight. This one here is a 5-round fight. So it's so tough to call. This one I really think is a pick 'em. I don't get why Khamzat is like minus 200 favorite or minus 250 or whatever he is. I think this is a real even fight. And I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear the prediction, and you've got it. Khamzat, 2nd-round submission. Let's go. All right, real quick, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. This is the first video I've made for this channel. Looking to make at least weekly uploads, if not 2 or 3 times a week if I can. But yeah, just love talking MMA. If you made it this far in the video, please drop a sub, drop a comment, drop a like. Thank you so much for watching. All my other socials, you can find me at Killas Corner MMA. At the time of recording, I only have the X or Twitter set up, but I'm looking to get set on TikTok, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that jazz. So yeah, thank you guys once again, and we will be back with a post-fight recap on, well, I'll record Sunday. We'll see when it gets out, but thank you.